Hey guys, before we start, I just want to let you know that my films, the last ones, a zombie drama, and Borderland about the cartels, are now out on Tubi. That's Tubi.com or Tubi the app. The movies are free as long as you sign in. I don't even think you have to sign in. I think you just need the app. You probably already have it if you have like a smart TV or PlayStation 5, which all the cool kids got for Christmas. If you don't have one, you're not cool. Um, yeah, go check it out. It would be really helpful. Both of them are kind of fun movies. Borderland is definitely more fun. The last one's is more of a drama, but they're both good.
It's
And
it's the 2016 Borderland, not the 2009 Borderland.
it's the 2016 Borderland. It's not the 2009 Borderland or the 1974 Borderland or the 1992 Borderland or the 1997 Borderlands or the 2004 Borderland or the 2014 Borderlands Wars. So yeah, find it. It's a needle in the haystack, guys. But you know what they say about those? They're always worth your time. Yeah, go check them out, and we'll see you. And let's start the show. I was gonna say we'll see you next time, but I shouldn't say that. And let's start the show. Do you guys remember the movie Event Horizon? Of course you do. The 1997 cosmic horror film starring Laurence Fishburne, playing the worst captain to ever work for. And yes, I will die on that hill.
Do you mind if I get dressed first?
As a matter of fact, Lieutenant, I do mind if you get dressed first.
Just let her get dressed. Accompanied by Sam Neill, once again playing a relatable, heroic scientist.
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.
Well, up until a point, it's a classic that's a staple of sci fi horror. The kind of still scary movie that, besides a few early CGI mishaps, still holds up today. The type of movie that doesn't need a remake. And what if I told you there already was a remake and you already saw it? So join me, Andrew Hada, writer, director, other things, podcaster, on this episode of The Deep Dive, where we take a look at the secret remake to Event Horizon. And don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps. So what movie am I talking about? Well, like I said, it's probably one you've already seen because it almost came out 20 years ago. And it came out in theaters. And it was released by a major studio. I'm talking about the 2002 Dark Castle film, Ghost Ship. Oh, you didn't think Ghost Ship is a remake of Event Horizon? Well, allow me to persuade you. So let's start with the main story. Both films are about salvage crews finding a long-lost ship.
It's the Antonio Graza. Jesus Christ.
The source of this transmission has been identified as the Event Horizon.
That has kind of a mythical reputation.
She was reported missing on the 21st of May, 1962, off the coast of Labrador. Funny thing is, there was no distress signal, no contact. She just disappeared. She was gone.
The mission was going perfectly, like a textbook. They reached safe distance using conventional thrusters. All systems looked good. They had the go-ahead to use the gravity drive to open the gateway to Proxima Centauri. And then they just disappeared.
As they attempt to salvage the ship and find out what happened to the previous crew, they find themselves stuck in increasingly spooky situations, coming face to face with unimaginable horrors. Eventually, they find out that they're on a one-way trip to hell, and they must find a way to get off the ship before they're sunk. Ha! Ship humor. That's the basic story for both movies. Which would be just a weird coincidence, because how many different ways can you tell a story about a ship that also happens to be a ghost? There's only so many reasons to get them out there, and salvage rescue ship are the most easily explainable one, and it makes the most sense. So maybe this is just a Dante's Peak, Volcano, Deep Impact, Armageddon situation. But wait!
There's more!
It goes even further than just basic premise. They both have a captain who is haunted by a crew member, and they both died in fires. In Event Horizon, Captain Miller watched a crew member die in zero gravity, and the ship plays on his guilt.
I never told anybody. But this ship knew about it.
He comes face to face with this apparition many times, as the ship tries to drive him insane. Captain Murphy, I mean, come on, is also haunted by a fired man. That's men being put on fire humor. In his case, it's by his own crew member who dies earlier in the movie, and we'll get to him too. But just like with Miller, Murphy is haunted by an old crew member who blames Murphy for his death. They both haunt the captain with a mistake that the captain is already blaming on himself. Although one faces his guilt and defeats the ghost, and the other, oof. Speaking of which, let's talk about that pilot. In both movies, the pilots can't seem to find the Event Horizon or ghost ships, even though it's showing up on the radar.
LCSA! 1,500 meters, sir. We're getting too close. Where is it?
It was there a second ago. I saw it with my own eyes.
And both times, the ship suddenly appears out of nowhere, causing the pilots to go into panic mode, damaging the ship so that they need heavy repairs. Then both pilots spend most of the movie off the ghost ships, trying to repair the damage.
Can't fix our little engine problem. Why don't you quit bitching and just overhaul the starboard engine, please?
And being pretty scared to go back on them.
Listen, I'd rather spend the next 12 hours outside than another 5 seconds in this shit.
And both times, the pilots celebrate because they think that they're not going to be blown up, just to be immediately blown up. They even have the same oh shit reaction. And it's not the only death that's similar, and by similar, I mean exactly the same. In both films, the ghosts lure a crew member to a high ledge and then trick them into falling. Peters has a disabled son that she had to leave with her ex-husband.
I did try to find a replacement for you, but with such short notice, it was impossible.
And throughout the film, sees visions of him to prey on her guilt for leaving. Eventually, she confronts him and goes for a hug, only to plunge to her death. Meanwhile, Greer is also lured to his death for a very different, more complicated reason. He was super duper horny.
The sexiest voice I ever heard, man.
Yep, he's a man, so his horniness is the cause of his death. Despite being engaged to be married, the characters in Ghost Ship are kind of assholes. Like all of them, they're just bad people. But anyway, he also falls to his death, just like Peters. The mystery of the ship is also the same. And not just because they're both ghost ships. In both films, they are trying to find out what happened to the previous crew, only to find out that there is no natural reason for the ship disappearing. There's only a supernatural one. In both, the ship's motivation is that it wants to take the salvage crew to hell.
And now, it is time to go back.
I know. To hell.
And claim their soul. Also, both films have the reveal that the inside man has been working with the ship. Although again, there are little differences. In Ghost Ship, the man who hired them for the job turns out to be a demon of sorts that needs a certain number of souls so he can get out of hell himself.
You collect ships, I collect souls. And when I fill my quota, I send a boatload home.
Apparently, it's not a great place. While in Event Horizon, Weir is eventually seduced in a way by the Event Horizon and almost becomes a voice for the ship. While having different motivations, they serve the main purpose and end up being kind of the big bad of the movie. That idea of different motivations but same purpose can be said for a lot of the stuff in the films, but they still follow the same basic plot. At the end, there is only one person that has to go against the voice of the ship. In Event, it's Captain Miller himself. And in Ghost, it's the first mate. I don't want to spoil the endings, so I'll just say go watch them. But they're also very similar. So as you see, it's not just a similar premise or a few things. It's every step, beat for beat, bar for bar.
Copy my whole fucking flow!
Oh,
word for word, bar for bar!
So how could this be? Well, I'm not sure. They don't really share any credits or writers or producers. Nothing. Neither were huge hits, although both have become cult classics in the meantime. The only thing I can think of is that it was well known that Ghost Ship was rewritten at the last second, with the original idea being more of a psychological thriller, where the main fear factor was paranoia and greed, as the crew members turn against each other. However, right as they started filming, the script was changed to how we know it today. Maybe the rewrite ended up using the template of Event Horizon, and changed it just enough so the teacher wouldn't know you copied. Whatever it is, it's amazing to watch these two movies and see how similar they are. And they do have a few differences that make it both worth watching. Ghost Ship focuses more on the first mate, while Event's main character is all Captain Miller. Ghost Ship also has a friendly ghost played brilliantly by Emily Browning in one of her first roles. Although it doesn't really change the story too much. Also, while Event Horizon is the better film in my opinion, Ghost still has enough for you to check out. especially that opening scene, which is the best in all the Dark House movies, which is saying a lot because they all have good openings. But that's it. That's my case. What did you guys think? Do you see the similarities? Did you think they were as similar as I claim? Does that bother you? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, again, like and subscribe. If you guys like this, please watch our podcast, The Bomb Squad, on YouTube or on podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. We appreciate the underappreciated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time